Today we're back working on the custom build here. In the last video we cut in the hole for the front and came back in and routed in the back of it here. And today, we ran out of time last week actually, didn't get a chance, but we had to make a jig. We got our jig made. Today we're going to go ahead and recess this bridge into the body. Now, it's a two-part route job, and I'll show you what we're going to do here in a second on that. We're going to recess the bridge into the body, then we got to come back through. We got to cut in control holes for 2 tones or 2 pots, a toggle switch, and then we got to insert a jack, and we got a battery box we got to insert for the active pickups. On this route job we're going to do here, we've got our jig. It's going to sit on there about like that. Okay, so what we're going to do first of all is going to come on this front piece right behind the post here. We're going to route down maybe an 1/8 or so of an inch down. Then we're going to come back from the rest of the stuff and we're going to route it down to probably, I'm just going to ballpark and say like 3/8 of an inch probably. So we're going to route this down so we can drop these posts down in a little bit so we can lower or raise the bridge up to get the action set right. Then when we route the back end down farther, that's whenever you have, when you use the bridge, it's going to rotate forward and backwards, and you want this recess to that to sit down in the body so you have room for that to move backwards. So I'm going to go ahead and get this jig clamped down where it needs to go, get the 2 posts pulled out of here, and we'll come back with the router and start the first part. We're going to route this front piece here. I made my first pass with the router, and I've routed the whole area down in here down to just shy of 3/16 of an inch. So now what we're going to do is come back and get this back half here routed down to right around 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more. So as you can see here, we're done with the route. The whole thing's routed. Now you got this front part that's up and this back part that's down. We still got to come back through and take some sandpaper, some scrapers, whatever, a chisel, get in there, clean this up, clean the corners up, make it look nice. But it's basically good to go. The front half's up where it should be. We got the back end recessed so the bridge can set down in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put my post back in, put the bridge on, and let you guys see what it looks like. Okay, so I came back through and I cleaned up all or most of the rough edges we got, so it's looking pretty smooth. I got the posts back in, and now we put the bridge on. There's what we got. So if it's sitting level like this, we got movement. That's where the screws in the back bottom out. We can come the whole way up to about there. But now it's full floating, so it'll set level about like that. So anyways, that takes care of that part. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to drill our holes for our 3 pots and a toggle switch. Once we get them holes drilled, we can start to work on cutting out the cavity on the back side. So this is the pots it's going to be getting. These are for active pickups. It's getting EMG active pickups. And it's getting a Gibson style 3-way toggle switch. I got the holes where I'm going to drill marked out. You can have a volume, a tone. The 3-way toggle is going to sit in between that. So now what I got to do is just come back through and take a measurement and see what size drill bit I'm going to need to drill these out. So on the tone knob, I get out my caliper here. It's a 5/16. So I need a 5/16 drill bit for the tone knob, and then on the toggle switch, it is 15-30 seconds. Yeah, 15-30 seconds. So we're going to need a 15-30 seconds and a 5/16. I'll get them 2 drill bits and then we'll drill these holes out. So we're back from the drill press and we got the 4 holes drilled out, the 2 volumes, the pot, and or the tone and the 3-way toggle. So the next thing we got to do is flip this thing over and start doing a cavity for this. So we'll have to make a jig, go ahead and make it how we want it to go, probably something to this effect, I guess, and route that out, and then we'll got to route a lip so we can put a cover on. We also need to route this thing down about 1/8 of an inch or so we can put a cover on that. That'll be next, but I think before we get to that, we're going to go ahead and work on the neck. Here's the neck. We got the binding on the side of the neck. We got the binding on the peg head. We still got some drying up to do on there. We got to add a piece back here that has to be added yet, but we can start filing down the scraping down the binding on the fretboard, scraping down the binding on the peg head. So that's the next thing we're going to get on, is getting that done, because once we get that done, then we can start working on shaping the back of this neck. Finish up with the binding. It's all scraped flush. I came back through, sanding the fretboard down to 1000 grit, so it's nice and smooth. Got the peg head all sanded down, got the side sanded down smooth. The only thing we haven't done yet is we're going to add that piece onto the back, and then this thing is basically ready to start shaping. But that's all we're going to do for today, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.